So first of all, thank you to the Tennessee Immigrants and Refugees Rights Coalition for making this possible, as well with the Peace and Justice Center for providing the meeting space here. So today we're here together because we do have a concern as citizens of Tennessee, or to be able actually to see what is happening, what the lawmakers, types of laws that they want to pass are really hurting our community. So today we come together to stand and to start, so that we can start saying that we are here today to show that Americans are standing up to try to make a difference, to try to convince our politicians that the laws that they want to pass will be hurting the whole state of Tennessee and not only immigrant people. We actually want Tennessee to be a better place to live, be one Tennessee where anybody can come and call this state their home. We would like to see Tennessee as a welcoming state where people can be free to live, to learn, to work, and to worship as they please. So by saying that, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Mr. Richard Liu, and he will be sharing a few words with us today. Thank you.
Thank you. I wanted to share a story about my father. My father was born in Canton, China, and was raised in Coahoma, Mississippi, and went to school here in Memphis in junior high. But he was a paper son. And a paper son is when, because of the Chinese Exclusion Act, the Chinese people would use someone else's birth certificate to bring children to the United States. And with these sorts of laws that are being considered, how people are able to fulfill their lives would be very abrupt or even impossible. My father even though he grew up in Coahoma, Mississippi and in China, he was also, when he became an adult, World War II broke out, and he was part of the U.S. Marine Corps, and he fought during the duration of World War II, and fought in Guadalcanal and Tarawa, and was part of the occupational force in China. And so he didn't think of himself as anything other than an American. And those sorts of dreams are being undermined at this moment. And those sorts of contributions are being neglected and undermined at this moment. And so we're asking for the legislatures to reconsider and think about, first of all, the dignity of humanity and the contributions of all people, and before they continue down this dangerous road of copying laws that unfortunately Arizona has passed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard. Now we'd like to invite our next speaker, a leader in the Muslim community, Mr. Nabil.
Thank you, Alfredo, and thank you all for coming here. This is really to show that how the face of United States has changed. For many people think of United States as being black and white, especially if you are here in Memphis. But the truth of the matter that, as you see here, that really United States is more like a coral reef or a prairie full of flowers. Everybody looks different, everybody's the same, but we all make the coral reef, or we all make that prairie. And I thank really TIRRC here for having this initiative to speak against the bill that's trying to pass, which is the anti-Sharia. And really it's because of work of people like TIRRC and the Peace and Justice Centers and others, that for now the bill has been pulled out and it's no longer really in the legislation, because they realized how bad the so-called anti-Sharia law. What Sharia is for me is what real life for others. For me, I have to live according. If I want to live and practice my faith, then I have to look into Sharia and tells me what my faith is like. As a Muslim, I'm not supposed to eat pork, and that's because of the Sharia. So if I want to live here in Tennessee, then this means that I have to eat pork from now on if the Sharia law passes. For anyone who wants to pass something as grand as so-called anti-Sharia, they really have to look and see what Sharia means and what is Sharia before they can really use the term Sharia and anti-Sharia. If you don't make that understanding and you don't see what is this term for, and you think it's just another word that you want to throw in, then you are doing great injustice. Great injustice not only for the Muslims, but also for the United States of America. Also for the United States of America, which most Muslims who came to this country is just like the people who came here through Ellis Island and through coming here for the freedom of religion and freedom of expressing your ideas and your thoughts. So this so-called anti-Sharia law is really not anti-Sharia, it's really anti-American. It's against the Constitution of the United States. Because that takes away the rights of the Muslims to practice their faith. And we have proven that Tennessee is not Arizona. And we have proven that Tennessee is not Texas, because they were trying to pass the so-called baby terrorist law, anti-baby, which means what they're thinking is that people are coming here to the United States and having babies born in the United States and then raising them as American terrorists. And that was also, they were trying to pass this in Texas as a legislation. So with all of these people who really the least to say is that they don't know, they're ignorant about what Islam and the Muslims and how Muslims live, they always try to come up with all these really ignorant bills. And because of this, really many people suffer. And this is also does not help the homeland security and does not help the fight overseas as well, because many other people may pick up on these information and say, you see, that they are really don't like Muslims and they're fighting Muslims in America as well. So coalitions like this and people who understand what diversity is all about are always going to speak against and come against this and don't allow a racist bill that under the cover of patriotism, where racism is mixed with patriotism, and allowing for this to come up. We will always speak against that. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Nabil. I would like to now introduce our next speaker, a leader in our youth community, Ms. Iris Mercado.
Hello. First of all, of course, I'd like to thank TIRRC for allowing us to be here today, as well as South Peace and Justice Center. Being a high school student and continuously being with teachers who have, and I'm sure it happens all across the country, overstressed teachers, always hoping to gain students' confidence and trust. I highly doubt that passing bills that would require teachers to, in a way, interrogate students on their documentation would not be really helpful. I can tell you that as it is right now, administrators are overworked. This is not something that we would like to see in our schools. I most definitely would want to. Not only teachers and administrators, but also the students themselves would also add on to their stress. They being here in the education system since they were young, since they were babies, I guess, and being singled out in ways, being separated from the rest of the students. This is not going to help in any way to help the communities in our schools to be one, which is what we've been working on, especially in the South. Separating even further, this is not something that we want to see. And even though the civil rights movement happened in this, it's another wave. But yes. Just for repeating itself, anyway. But thank you.
Thank you, Edith. Well, thank you all, like we said, for coming out. We really want to see Tennessee as one community, just like we see it here in Memphis. And hopefully with this, we'll be able to convince more people to get involved and make this state more diversity as we already are. It's just allowing the other people to integrate with our communities and be able to make the state a better place to live and to learn and to worship like we're fighting for. So thank you all. And
Quick question,
Yeah.
Are there any other actions you guys are looking to undertake collectively to, I guess, come against some of the laws you guys don't agree with? Is there any more action planned? I mean, where do you guys go from here?
Actually, they have been lobbying all day in the Capitol. Today, a lot of people from all over the state. And throughout the state, we held this press conference so that simultaneously we would be able to get press conferences in the morning or in the afternoons or in the evening, for the same reason that since we're working together on this, there is people actually lobbying and on their way back pretty much right now at this time.
Why do you think lawmakers are supposedly so out of touch with the plight of, I guess, immigrants or people who weren't born here? What causes the disconnect, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I think it's lack of learning about other people's culture. That's my experience, in my opinion. For instance, when I first moved to Memphis, I wanted to translate my Texas driver's license to a Tennessee driver's license, and the very first thing they asked me was for my documentation. Even though I was speaking to them in English and giving them what they needed, they told me, you don't understand, we need to have documentation. To me, that showed a lack of knowing our culture, and that there is American citizens, being immigrants from immigrant parents, that we all live together, but we're all so busy on our daily work and stuff. A lot of people don't have the time to learn other people's culture and interact with other communities that they live among already. So, to my opinion, I think that's really the problem. I'm not sure if anybody else would like to add something to that question.